Hello everybody, AOG Gaming here, back with another video. So, I think people are being dumb on statistics on this game. Um, there's not 500,000 players every day. I'm sorry, but there just isn't. That's the average player count. That doesn't mean that that's how many daily people are playing. So I love how people keep releasing videos. Oh no, we have 500,000 players. This is the average daily players. When in reality, it's around 16,000. But it does fluctuate. So 586 is an average. The problem is that it's taking into account everything since its launch. And during its launch, it had a lot of players, obviously. Now, the thing is, though, they also have cross consoles, right? So I don't know how, you know, how accurate this is because it's pretty much similar to what's happening in the Steam charts, right? So honestly, that makes sense to me that it's around 16K because, around 3,000 people will be playing on the Xbox and PS5 consoles because, again, they're consoles that aren't as good as PCs in my opinion at this point. Like you could build a PC that gives you much better frames and you could play all these other games. The only reason you'd get a PS5 or a Xbox is for the reason that they have exclusive games on them that you can't play on the computer. Other than that, most people are playing on the computer. So that makes sense to me, right? I don't think there's 500,000 people playing this game because the all-time peak on Steam itself was half of that, right? And I don't think it released on. Did it release on consoles at the beginning? Actually, here. Did the finals? Wait. Actually, here's a better metric. The final. Oopsies. The finals console release. Wait here. I don't think it's gonna. So that was December 7th. Oh wow. Okay, so for PS5. Oh, okay, so it was all at the same time, right? Okay, so maybe that makes a little bit more sense, right? Here. I'm learning as well. So I'm not saying I know how many people are playing, but I can assure you damn well there is not 500,000 people playing the game. There is not. I don't care what fucking people say about like, oh, that's what it says here. Yeah, I don't know what this metric is, but that's just bullshit because most people play on PC. So the fact that there is only this many people playing on PC tells me that this is a complete fucking lie right there. 100%. um, the thing is, though, there is Mac. Oh, it's not available for Mac. Oh, never mind. Okay, well, I didn't even know that. Wow. Wait, they don't have it on Mac? Oh, okay, that's just on you, Embark. Come on. um, so I mean, this number makes sense to me. 16,000 players, because most people don't own a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, S, whatever you want to call it. Because again, they're very hard to get and at a decent price. Usually, you just have to buy them at full price or even marked up. Um, Here, I want to do the finals console player count. So that's where I went to first. And then people are like, yeah, so this makes sense, right, to me. This makes a lot more sense. And of course, June they had the updates, so it went up to 31,000. And it aligns with what's on Steam. So when people say, oh, these numbers are lies, no, they're fucking not. There's a reason why people take those metrics. People are saying, oh, Steam numbers lying. No, they're not. They don't tell the full story. I can agree with that. But the amount of people playing on Steam is definitely, I would say, at least 70% of the player base. It is just much easier to play on a computer because you can get a computer that does everything for you rather than just buying a console. Like a computer is a much better investment just in terms of life because you can use it to apply for jobs, you can use it to work from home, you can use it to do literally anything, whereas a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox is exclusively for games, pretty much, right? Yeah, there's internet stuff and you can play music and you can watch TV, but why wouldn't you just get a computer if you're going to do that anyway, right? Because then you have the added benefit of having a computer, not just a over-glorified computer that's locked to games, pretty much, right? So you got to stop listening to all those YouTubers who are lying to you. No, there's not 500,000 people playing the game right now. And there probably won't be until they fix their problems. I think we are evening out though. So here's my second part of the video, right? So that was the 5-minute part of the video, the intro, right? Talking to you that people are just speaking out of their ass. I'm sorry, but the numbers don't lie. They really don't. That's how math works, right? We prove things through numbers. So this is very confusing because it's saying that there is 586 average daily players in the last 30 days. That literally does not make sense to me. Because again, about 70% of the people playing this game are on computer. It's just how it works, right? Also, Embark 2 months ago, like maybe 2 months ago, there was 500,000 concurrent players. I think they said that something in their Discord, right? Is it gonna end my video? Okay, no, it's not going to. Can I? Okay, cool. So here, I don't even remember where it was, but video player reports. Wait, no. What was I looking for? It was like 2 months ago where they told us, so it's gonna be a pretty far back. And the thing is, it's fine if the player count is decreasing. Those are just the people who don't understand the potential of this game. Just the sheer raw. Like this game is going to go places. I'm sorry to say, but it is. For everyone that's saying that this game is pretty mundane and niche and whatever. I mean, sure, there's some things that are very unique to the game, but it's just like every other shooter game out there, in my opinion, where you have abilities and you work as a team. Of course, there is the money aspect of it, which makes it a lot funner, in my opinion, because you get to see your score in or you get to see your achievements in real time. Like it just feels more like you're in. It feels more immersive, like you're in the game and you're actually doing stuff. So I think that's what people need to focus on more. Where is this thing? I saw somebody post it on their video where they announced how many people were playing. Okay, this is in May. That's about 2 months ago. I need to see. See, the thing is, I don't even know if these are counting, like, does it count all the people in the world, or is it just North America? That's my question. Okay, I don't know where he put it, but it was on this other guy's video that I saw. But he was saying that the numbers are lying. No, they're not, bro. And then he went to this page and said that there's 586 concurrent players. That's a lie. I'm sorry, but it is. If there was that many people playing the game, there would not be that many YouTubers saying that this is a dead game, that this game is dying, that the player count is decreasing. Why would people say that if the game player count is around the same as it was 2 months ago? Like, just logically, if you think about it, it doesn't make sense, right? And I'm not going to call him out because he knows what he's doing. He's just doing it for attention and views, even though he didn't get a lot of views on this video, in my opinion. But it just goes to show that you need to look at the numbers yourself and realize what they're talking about. It's around 16,000. I believe this number here because there's usually around that many people on Steam. A little bit less, obviously, which makes sense to me because most people do play on Steam. It is just easier, like I said, as a life investment to get a computer and use that to play games than getting an Xbox Series X, or because it costs as much as a low range computer, right? I think mid range is around what, 700 and above, maybe 800 and above. So yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get something, I would rather you get a computer because I'm telling you, you're not going to be using that PS5 and Xbox for literally anything else but playing games. Whereas a computer can do that and much more. Um, yeah, so if you go to live player count and then we search the finals, pretty sure this is the page we were just on. See, online players. And then it says active players is 2 million, which I also don't believe. Because if it only lost 400,000 in the last, like, these metrics are complete lies right here, 100%. Like, what the fuck is this? Because we'd have what, 1.5 million people playing the game. That makes no sense if there's only 16,000 people online in the last hour. Are you telling me that we lost what? This would be 1,000. Not even that. We lost like 999, like 99% of the player base. Like, we lost so many people. That doesn't make any sense. It's been a slow decline, and I think the Steam chart will show you more of what it actually is, which is this. If we go to the max, it is a slow decline, right? And the fact that you only had 242,000 people playing, it just goes to show that. Is it available on here? Before I just say something stupid. The finals on PS4? Yeah, exactly. So the fact that you can't play it on PS4 or Xbox One just goes to show me that there is not that many people playing the game. Because the amount of people that own PS4 and Xbox is like, what, 9 times the amount of people that play on the Series X and the PS5. Because again, they are hard consoles to get, they're very expensive, and they're just a waste of money in my opinion. 100%. The only reason you would play them is if you're trying to play games that are exclusive to consoles, which is what companies are doing now. They're making deals with Microsoft and Sony, so that when they're making games for these consoles, they get like a cut or whatever. Like, they're making money so that, or they have a deal with the Sony or Microsoft so that their games are being specifically locked to these consoles so that you can only play them on the consoles, right? It's just a scummy business tactic, but hey, if sheeps are gonna sheeps are gonna sheep, right? That's exactly what happens in the world. So it's why our society is dying in the first place, is because sheep exist. And it's not mostly their problem, it's society's fault for not educating them. But why would society educate them if society is gaining, or not society, sorry. The top 1% of people on this planet are pretty much taking all the resources and gaining all of this stuff because sheep exist. In my opinion, those are the worst type of people. The 1% are not the worst type of people. They are the smart people. They are the ones that know what the fuck they're doing. Yes, most of them have been born into a position where it's very, very easy for them to gain that much power. But that's only possible because sheep, like half of the fucking US, exist. Most of the people that don't live on the coasts, because that's where most of the education and wealth is focused. It just allows you to be more educated in terms of financial security and just common sense in life, right? If you're living on a farm for your entire life, you're not going to know diddly squat about anything, right? That's just how it goes. So I think YouTubers, please stop fucking lying. There's not 500,000 people playing this game. If that was the case, more people would be playing on the computer than 13,000. That is just how fucking math works. Because there's 100% more people that own computers than own a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. And the margin is not even close. Because computers are obviously much more superior. In some cases. Obviously, I'm pretty sure a 500... I don't know, actually. I haven't done that comparison. If there's a $500 PC that can beat... Oh no, but I'm pretty sure Toasty Bros did it. They're a YouTube channel that does budget PC stuff. Go watch them. They're amazing. If you're trying to buy a computer and not spend above $1,000, that is one of the best places to go. But they've done builds where they spent only $500 and were able to completely destroy the Xbox Series X and the PS5. So it's not even worth an investment. So when people say, oh, there's 500,000 people playing right now, maybe 2 months ago. Now, that's not the case. It is probably down to half of that, maybe even less. People are like, oh, that's pessimistic. That's not true. I'm sorry, but it is. You can lie to yourself as much as you want. I love this game too. I fucking love the finals. That is the reason why I'm playing. That is the reason why I'm grinding to Emerald 1. There's literally no other reason why. I think it's an okay game. I don't think it's a good game. I think it's getting to a good part where everything feels balanced. This last update pretty much sold me on the concept that I'm going to keep playing this game until I die, because they are actually listening to the community. I feel like they've done a little bit things that we didn't ask for that maybe have made some people discontent. But overall, I think the last update was insanely good, especially that healing beam debuff. They need to nerf those revives. I think you should in a full game you should only get around 2 defibs, because if you have more than that, then it just means every confrontation you're going to be able to revive your entire team. It's just ridiculous, right? Um, I think that might be a little bit strong of a nerf. I think I'm just hating on the fact that 3 mediums is pretty much the most annoying meta in the game right now. It is not the meta. I think it's still 2 mediums and a heavy. Before it was 1 medium and 2 heavies, but now it's 2 mediums, 1 heavy. Because you can just pick up the medium can pick up the heavy. And look at that, you're all up, and now you have 2 healing beams to heal the other medium, and the other medium can heal the heavy. So, again, the game, the most competitive, I guess, loadouts haven't really changed, other than the fact that light is now a lot more viable, in my opinion, in cash out. But again, it's still not meta, in my opinion. Not even close. No matter how good you are at light, it's just like, if a medium is just as good as you, they're always going to win. If the skill level is equal, they're always going to win because they have, again, more health, and they're able to pick up their teammates almost instantly. Of course, there are situations where light team completely dominates, but usually mediums aren't by themselves, and that's the biggest problem, right? Also, the fact that they have grenades and mines that just pretty much insta-kill a light, which is, again, insane that they have that as a mechanic, that you can just one-shot an entire class. Again, I think they shouldn't have buffed explosives in any way, shape, or form. They were already meta. Everyone was already using the RPG. Everyone was already, well, not everybody, but I feel like grenades were pretty balanced before, but now everybody's just fucking using them. And then mines. They were pretty, you know, used a lot. They're still used a lot, but now it's even more meta to use grenades and explosives. So they pretty much shat on every other gadget, in my opinion, which is it's kind of sad. But hey, Embark does what they want, right? Half of the time, half of the updates are what Embark thinks that they should fix, and then half of the other updates is what they should actually fix. Which sometimes what they fix is good, but they did not need to nerf the light dash, in my opinion. um, it's still very broken, right? Like, it didn't really change much. So I think that this is accurate in terms of how many, like, I would say at 25% of what this is. So what? Jesus, I'm trying to do math in my head. All right, it's around 3K, right? So I feel like this peak right here that you see right here, so 16,000, 10% would be 1,600. Multiply that by 2, you have around 3K. So I would say there's around 25,000 players on a 24-hour peak, which isn't bad. And I know people are saying the game is dying, and I don't think it's dying. I think it's losing steam because the updates that we have been having have been very minor, and they've also been doing some unnecessary stuff, right? Like, they buffed explosives, but they nerfed the living hell out of the APS, which is like, alright, so you're going to balance it, and then you're going to unbalance it in the favor of the other direction. Which is like, okay, so what was the point of nerfing the APS if you were just going to buff explosives in the long run, right? Because the APS, while it's still useful, it has pretty much just become, like, I'd rather run glitch mines, right? Because at that point you can just stop people's abilities rather than trying to stop an explosion, which again only helps in a very small radius. So if they were gonna nerf, or if they're gonna buff explosive, they should have at least buffed the radius of the APS, in my opinion, to make it a lot harder. Like, you have to destroy that APS. Otherwise, you can just shoot right next to the APS's circle and you're still fine. Like, it makes no sense to me. Um, yeah. So there is not 500,000 people playing this game. I'm sorry, but that is just true. There is not 250,000 people playing this game. That is just numbers talking. It is just how statistics works. If you look at the amount of people playing the game, the amount of people playing on PC is definitely more than 50% of the people that play this game. Because again, computers are more valuable than a game console at this point. That's why a lot of people have been saying that the 11th or 12th gen consoles have failed or whatever. Whatever generation we're on at this point. I don't even know. I stopped after Xbox One because at that point I was like, alright, you want me to pay basically half the price of an iPhone for a game console. Alright. Um, yeah, and it's also like, yeah, it's just like, I feel like computers just make up most of the player base. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think you're just coping at that point. um, yeah, I think this game, like, if we look at the 3 month decline, it's actually been pretty steady. So I don't think it's dying as much as people think. I think it's just because you keep seeing these trend lines. Like the fact that we have 16,000 players there, and like on some days back here we barely even broke 6,000, but here we're like pretty much peaking at 6K. It is decreasing a little bit. I feel like this number has gone down like by 1,000, but again, it's what, 4 p.m. on a Saturday. So maybe it'll increase by more as the day goes on, but I feel like my numbers are much more closer to 250,000. That's probably 10 times the amount of people playing the game. I feel like it's around 25K. Because everyone's like, oh, you're not talking consoles into account. Bro, you can only play on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. You know how many people have that? Like fucking 5% of the world. I don't know how much it is, but the amount of people that play on those consoles is pretty low compared to the amount of people playing on PC. So when they say 500,000 players, I don't think that's true at all. Not right now, for sure. So I don't think the game is dying. I think it's losing steam, which sounds like, again, a coping thing, but it's different than dying because dying would mean that people are completely just leaving the game. I don't think that's true. I think people are just getting tired of the monotonous gameplay, which is the same thing as losing steam, and also the fact that people are pretty much use the same guns. The AKM people still use over the FCAR, and the FAMAS. Those are pretty much the two most used weapons in medium class. For light class, it's the M11 and the XP54. M11 just has massive magazine. The XP54 is just insane when you use it with invis and just in general. It's just a good gun, right? Um, heavy, they use, well, sledge now because of the winch claw. But other than that, people use the M60 or M11. So, or sorry, M60 or the Lewis gun. I think those have lost popularity though because of the winch claw. So again, if they brought them back to their pre-recoil, like if they changed the recoil back to what it was before, I think that those guns would become much more used, and we'd see the winch claw being less, everybody using it. Because that's what I've noticed, right? Even if people do use shield, they buffed the glitch grenade, so like if there's a light on the enemy team, you're pretty much screwed as a heavy with shields. But if you have the winch claw, you can just kill the light, right? Like even if they glitch you, it's like 3 seconds, and then you're able to stun them and then pretty much just one shot them. It's not that hard. And also the KS-23, and then the I forgot what the shotgun, the heavy shotgun is called. But those have been pretty much very vital to the winch claw, which is great, but it also means that the two guns that they had before pretty much have lost most of their popularity. Like I rarely see people using them. So yeah, do the math yourself, people. It's not that hard to see. People are like, "Oh, you're not including the consoles when you're talking about Steam chart." Yeah, that's because the amount of people playing on console is minuscule compared to the people playing on PC. It's just a fact of life. Most people are going to get a PC rather than a console because consoles are absolute trash right now. They are. There's no if, buts, or whats about it. It's just how it work. It's just how it works, bro. Um, yeah. I mean, I guess that's all I have to say. So do your own math. Again, there's not 500,000 people playing this game. It just does not make sense in terms of everything that I've seen so far. The average daily player base thing that they're talking about when they say 500,000, that is across since the beginning of the inception of the game, which I can see, right? Though I still don't understand how that number comes to fruition when this says 242. But again, I don't know if this is just North America. Charts data is limited. Sign in through Steam. Okay. Okay, well, this is pretty much the same numbers, right? I don't understand what I meant by that, but okay. Um, yeah, so honestly, I don't. So, like, if we look for a week, it's been pretty consistent, right? If we look for a month, it's been pretty consistent. So, again, I think it's losing steam on consoles, but in Steam, it seems like it's pretty much been, like, even 3 months. Like, this is before the update, right? Yeah, we had a peak here when the Season 3 came, but I think it's been pretty consistent. So, I don't think it's dying. I think it's stagnating, which is what I mean by losing steam, is that it's settling down to what it was before, which is fine, right? Again, Embark is in a massive studio like Ubisoft or something, so they don't need to make billions of dollars off of their game. I do encourage you to support the game. It still has a lot of value in my opinion and a lot of potential. They're cooking. The last update I think helped fix the World Tour to a point where it feels a lot more easier and casual on the lower ranks, and it feels a lot more competitive in the higher ranks, which that's how it should work, right? um, yeah. So good job, Embark. Stop listening to all those people that are hating. I don't think there's 500,000 people because, again, most people play on computer. That's just a fact of life. But yeah, well, thank you all for watching as always. AOG Gaming here. If you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe. Really shows your support. Helps me out, keeps you updated my content. 208 subscribers this time I checked. Yeah, this is all I had to say. Do the math yourself, people. It's not hard to see the obvious. Just like what's happening with our economy and society. Don't listen to the bullshit media. Do your own math, and then you'll see we are all fucked.